Hey up Internet, Black Sofa back again, and this time I'm going to be responding to a very cringy video that I made quite a few years ago when I was still a Christian, and I was preaching against the doctrine of tithing. And it's very cringy to say the least. Let's get into this. Not exactly sure why I decided to add a sepia filter. I guess I thought it would appeal to the youth. I guess I thought I would be down with the kids. You get me?
Delicious beer. Always goes down as smooth as silk.
Not cheesy at all.
Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. You're thinking, why on earth is a Christian drinking beer?
No, not really. I'm thinking, why is the sound so appalling? And what were you thinking with that lousy jumper?
Well, because the Bible says I can.
Look at that cheesy grin!
What, you don't believe me? Well, just listen to what it says in Deuteronomy chapter 14 verses 24 onwards. It says this: But if when the Lord your God has blessed you, the distance is so great that you are unable to transport it, because the place where the Lord your God will choose to set his name is too far away from you, then you may turn it into money.
Oh, Mike, you need to look up from that book and look into the camera from time to time. The audience wants to see your pretty face.
With the money secure in hand, go to the place that the Lord your God will choose, spend the money for whatever you wish: oxen, sheep, wine, strong beer,
There you go.
or whatever you desire. And you shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your household, rejoicing together. That's Deuteronomy chapter 14 verses 24 to 26. So,
I think that this video was just an excuse for me to have a beer.
next time you're on holiday, away from your local church, why not cancel that monthly standing order and instead use that 10% that you would normally use for the tithe and spend it on whatever you want. You can spend it on
I think I'm looking down at the good book here for inspiration.
some nice beef, some nice lamb, some wine, some strong beer.
Chug it, chug it, chug it, chug it.
Or whatever your heart desires. Now that can range from anything. You can get some nice ice cream, some caviar,
Some weed, some cocaine.
anything your heart desires, and eat it in a celebration before the Lord. Now, I can just imagine what you must be thinking.
I'm thinking, sit bloody still and take that grin off your face.
Some of you must be thinking, now come on, Mike. Be sensible. Be reasonable. You're taking that verse completely out of context. That verse was meant for Jews under the law of Moses, for when they were too far away from the temple. And it's not supposed to be for Christians. Exactly. That is exactly my point. And it illustrates beautifully, I think, the foolishness of this doctrine that tithing is for Christians today.
But there is a serious point that I do want to make here. And the point I want to get across here is that you can see, even from this video that I made when I was still a Christian, that doubts were beginning to form in my mind. I was becoming disillusioned with some aspects of Christian doctrine, and I wanted to express these concerns publicly, and which is why I made a few YouTube videos like this one. And these doubts would eventually lead me to give up my faith altogether.
You see, you'll hear pastors taking Malachi chapter 3 completely out of context and applying it for Christians today, promising them blessings if they tithe and threatening them with a curse if they refuse to tithe. They're quite happy to apply those verses completely out of context to Christians today, but when it comes to the few verses I've just read, they get a little nervous. This truly is a passage that no one wants to talk about. Why? Because it poses a serious problem to those who support the view that tithing is for Christians today.
Good point, Mike. Well made.
And I think it proves the point very well, because you can't have it both ways. If you're going to apply Malachi chapter 3 to Christians today, then you have to apply this verse in Deuteronomy chapter 14 to Christians today as well. If you're going to tithe, you may as well do it properly. And surely a modern day application of this passage is that when you're away from your local church, you use your tithe, which could be £100, for example, and you spend it on whatever you want: beef, a nice lamb joint, some wine, and some beer. Cheers.
And here endeth the lesson. If you've liked this video, then please give us a thumbs up and let me know what you think of my old Cringey video in the comments. And if you're new here, then do subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.